Yo, my name is Big Lou, and you are now listening to Go Produce. We're the show that explores how music industry professionals turn their passion into profits. In this episode, we've got Don Tour, an up-and-coming hardcore vocalist and a family man who shares his story on his pursuit of a career in entertainment. The Go Produce focus of this episode is, what does it take to be an up-and-coming artist in the music industry? If you've ever wondered what it's like to commit to a life as an artist in music, then this episode is for you. All right. Thank you, Don. Thank you for being here. First and foremost, I want to let you know that we do appreciate your time. So why don't we just go ahead and make the most of it and go produce. I'm going to start off with your intro, which is superb. I heard you started singing at 14, which is time and time ago. You did that just before joining a band. And from there, shortly after you moved to London, you were a ripe age of 18 in your pursuit of a music career. And from there, you found yourself joining Searching for Satellites, where you first went on small tours and you gained lots of local hype, which is probably a very awesome experience to begin with. After that, you had a short stint in the Jettison Commitments. From there, you later joined Horizons, where you experienced larger shows. I have to catch my breath here. There's so many shows. From there, you joined another band called Start, Struggle, and Sleep before taking a break to start a family with your wife, Ashley. You are now a proud husband and father, and that doesn't stop you from doing anything. You've also started a new band called Dead Days, which has officially launched earlier this year. The group has brought their debut EP to Albrecht in Grand Rapids to do the recording, and they've officially released 3 songs, Holy Water, Brightburn, and Doom and Gloom, off of their upcoming album. Now we get to hear more from the man himself, Don Tour. How you doing today, Don?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to have you here. We're going to give the guests what they want. What they want is to learn a little bit more about you, and this segment is designed to do just that. So we're going to ask you a couple questions. We're going to pick your brain, and we're going to see what the rest of the segment or what the rest of the episode is going to look like, all right?
Sounds good.
Beautiful. So I like this question a lot. It's one of my favorites. Share with us, what is your first musical memory?
Oh, wow. That's putting it back there.
Exactly. It makes you think.
It's funny because there's not really any musical background in my family in any way.
Okay.
It was literally just through friends when we were kids. One buddy decided to go spend a bunch of money on gear, and he knew how to play guitar. And I still to this day can't play an instrument, but I wanted to try vocals because that was the last thing they were looking for. And I was god awful, but I just kept at it. Not that I've gotten much better, but
I'm sure others would say differently.
But yeah, no, for real, it's I think that was it. We were just in his basement, and we were all looking at these instruments, and we're just like, let's try and write a song. We'll start with covers, and
so you legit started singing. You legit started singing because you needed a singer.
Yeah, I just
you were hanging with your friends, and that was it. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Wanted to be in a band, man.
And it changed the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I think out of all those guys, I'm the only one still doing music.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Are you in touch with those guys still?
Yes and no, not really. I mean, a lot of them kind of moved away and started families a little bit before me.
Yeah.
And other than that, no, everybody's working full-time jobs and doing the day-to-day life thing.
Time has a way of doing that.
Yeah, man.
Yes. Next question. What are you currently struggling with as an artist? Other than, we're all in the same situation of COVID, right?
Yeah.
We're not getting gigs. We're not doing events. Yeah. Yeah. We are aware that is happening.
Yeah.
But what do you find is an issue?
I think it's just being heard in the sea of bands, man. There's so many people. Being in a band and making music has never been easier. I mean, back in my day, nobody had the programs on their computer. We had to go see guys like Prevail Studios and
legit,
just to do demos. And now you can demo an entire record or write and record an entire record in your basement. I mean, it's
in your car, you can do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's preposterous.
I think that is the toughest thing is when you're proud of something and you want everybody to hear it, but
right.
there's 600 other bands in your local area that are probably trying to do the same thing
at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Just trying to show through. And I think that's probably the toughest thing right now.
Yeah. No doubt. It's saturation. It's saturation of the market. But like, I mean,
way too many.
You got to try.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's for the love of it at this point. It's like, you know, with all the stuff that I have done over the years, it's always just been something that kind of keeps you sane and I don't know, keeps you hobbies. Like honestly, like I'm huge. This is unfortunately, it feels like a hobby right now because we can't get out and play shows. But,
yep.
Constantly, you know, you're just writing music and looking for new ways to express it and get better at it. I think that's really like all you can do right now.
That is the greatest challenge to remain consistent and improve.
Exactly.
That's tough. Cool. I got another question relating to that, which may have been influenced or affected by this situation, but that's okay. What does your creative process look like?
Well, I can't do anything until someone else with talent writes me a song.
Okay.
So it always does like that. I mean, especially with Dead Days and one of the guitar players in our band, Ty Coker, him and I've been kind of making music for since like 2013 or something like that. We've been writing forever.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of just coming to fruition now. But the whole thing for me, I guess, is like, you know, I got to feel something with the song. Like, you know, there's tons of songs that are sitting there, but there's always that one where you're like, oh man, you can automatically, for me, like I love writing vocals, like probably more than anything.
Yeah.
And because it's like the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
But that whole point, like, I know I have friends that struggle heavily with writing vocals and singing parts and screaming parts and all your, you know, you have nots. But that, I think, you know, I get the song and I just sit and listen to it over and over again and just kind of feel
on repeat.
What kind of words come out with it. There's always one line. There's always just something that pops in my head, and then that'll build a whole song from just one thing. And it's pretty cool. I mean, I never really appreciated it until I've kind of gotten older, and I'm like, you know, that's kind of something not everybody can do.
Yeah.
So I try to hold on to that, even though I can't write the song. I can't play drums, can't do anything. Just wait for somebody to send me something.
But like even that, like we all draw an idea from something else, and so they're looking for inspiration from a different source. So we're all in the same way, building off of each other. We've got one more question though for the basics before we wrap up this segment. What is something that people seem to misunderstand about you?
Oh man, musically, it's pretty it's pretty on the nose, but I don't think all my stuff, like especially the way I write, is all pretty it's out there. Like my lyrics are fairly I guess they're roundabout. Yeah, they can be. They're
steamy.
Fun. They're pretty harsh sometimes. I like angry songs. That's kind of how you get that out.
Okay.
But like even me, I guess it's probably my sarcasm is the worst thing, because that sometimes will like I'll write songs like that too. Even I'll just like put my bit of my attitude and like you know, strong personality into it, and then the guys will look at the lyrics and be like, "Is that really what you want to write?"
Huh?
Yes, it is.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. Interesting. So at the same time, you want to be a little bit edgy, because if not, you just melt in with everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. Interesting. Well, some would say it's humor for intelligent people, right?
I'd like to think so.
So one approach to it, at least.
Yeah, yes. Definitely.
But that's the end of this segment. That means we can all say that we know you a little bit better. The next segment,
I'm excited,
is the rapid fire speed round. Can you see that there?
Oh, nice. Woo! Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah. Don, I hope you enjoyed that, but I've got one more question before we proceed.
Yeah, for sure.
Are your shoelaces tied? Because we're about to go fast.
Oh, that's the downfall to slip-ons, buddy. That's the downfall to slip-ons.
We'll see what we could do with that then. So a brief overview as to what this round is. This segment will be throwing 20 rapid-fire questions that are designed to be answered quickly by either saying yes, no, this, that, both, neither. But that's it. Don't say anything else, and we're going to do it quickly. Afterwards, you will have the opportunity to explain your decisions. Clear?
Okay. Yes.
Clear? Cool.
Oh, God.
All right.
Stressful.
Here we go. Work hard or play hard?
Work hard.
Cup in the cupboard, right side up or upside down?
Ooh, upside down.
What's worse, laundry or dishes?
Laundry.
You're hungry. Hamburger or taco?
Taco.
Pop or indie music?
Oh, God. Pop.
Horror movie or comedy movie?
Horror for sure.
If you're sleeping, you have the fan on or off?
Oh, on, if I was allowed to.
You're at home, you're hungry. Dine in or delivery?
Ooh, dine in.
It's April and it can't decide if it's hot or cold outside and it's still snowing. Do you wear a sweater or a hoodie?
Hoodie, always.
Do you save or you spend when you got fat stacks?
Oh, I see.
You save? Phone call or text?
Text.
Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook.
Ice cream cone or snow cone?
Ice cream cone.
You go out for a walk, you listen to music or you listen to podcasts?
Podcast.
Nice. Preferably go produce podcasts. iOS or Android?
iOS.
iOS. Football or basketball?
No sports ever.
No sports, neither. Blue or red?
Ooh, blue.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Do you work alone or in a team?
Alone.
All right. That's 20 questions. How was that?
That was awesome. Those are some good ones.
Yeah. Do you have any explanations that you want to make?
Well, Twitter and Facebook. I've never had Twitter, I don't think.
You've never had Twitter. I'm not really a fan of Twitter, to be honest.
No. I don't know. I don't even understand it. I just lost on me.
Yeah. All right. So our next segment is called What's Yo Take? Whoop, 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 whoop.
Nice.
So in this segment, we want to learn a little bit more about the way you think. You will be provided with several different quotes or statements, and we want to know your opinion. We want to know what yo take is. All right? So.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. First question or statement. With CD sales going into the abyss, which is very evident today, how do you think major labels are staying in the business?
Oh, God, man. Streaming is like obviously the biggest thing going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one because I listen to a lot of podcasts like this one.
Hey.
And I listen to a lot of music ones too. And that like just listening to like how budgets have dropped for everything, even for huge bands.
It's a real thing.
It's not really anything I've honestly had to deal with, unfortunately, but like the major label thing, even labels in general is like a tough call to if you need them anymore.
Yeah.
Because again, everybody does stuff in the basement now. Like I could write a hit record.
Yeah.
And it could cost me $50. You know?
Yeah. But at the same time, there's a lot more to it. Don't you find?
Absolutely.
There's more to the just making the music if that's the case.
Yeah, and that's 100%. Like music videos alone, like the amount of time and effort it does, even if you're doing it like on the cheap, it's still like it's mind blowing how much work goes into it. And like trying to take on those endeavors yourself. Like we've done most of our stuff. The first music video we did for Holy Water, it was just us and the videographer, and he killed it. He knew what he was doing, but even for him, music videos aren't his take, but he does documentaries and stuff. So we're just finding friends that have like the slightest clue what they're doing, and then trying to piggyback their talents, right?
See if it translates over. Yeah,
it's crazy. And I don't know how the major labels are doing anything. They're like, I remember my day because it was always CDs. Like I bought
CDs,
every CD
CDs, records, boom.
They're sitting in a case downstairs, never being used again. I don't even think I own a CD player anymore.
Oh no!
But I think the only way they're doing it, honestly, keeping afloat for doing anything, is dropping budgets.
Yeah, hey?
You know what I mean, they're just making artists do more.
Titanic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and like streaming is huge. YouTube monetization, all that. Like even if you look at the numbers, what people get back, like it's pennies.
It's
pretty
gross.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah. Well, okay. On that note, the next question would be: how much do you think musicians indie musicians, if they're not with a label, need to market their own music or even themselves as a brand? How much time do you think they should spend on that?
Oh, every day. Something, a little something every day. It's new to all of us because all of us are old. Everyone at Dead Days has been in multiple bands, and
yeah.
The easy part was writing the songs, and now the hard part is trying to stay relevant. You know what I mean? Like, we put a song out, it's huge for a couple days, nobody cares.
Boom, gone. Right? Gone with the wind.
Yeah. And like, where, you know, back in the day, I would have just dropped the whole record. I would have put out a single with a music video, and we would have put out the EP, you know, like a week or two later.
Yeah.
But
because it would have a long life cycle. Research,
yeah, like, you know, you could go a year with that on that EP before you'd have to even think about recording, or like an actual full length. You could go 2 years if you're touring it.
Yeah.
But
now you're posting about what you got to eat because you got to stay in front of these people's faces all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm at the gym.
I made my first stupid video yesterday, and I mean, it was fun because I was sitting and recording just myself do everything, and it just popped into my head, these like the dumb things that I said, and it's like, oh, we can use that online because
there you go,
it
content
keeps us relevant.
Yeah,
and it's all about that, and that's something I gotta learn.
Yeah, if you want it, you got to play that game.
So different.
Yeah,
absolutely, so different.
Yeah. The industry is definitely changing, and I say that as if I have lots of experience from before. But yeah, it is. I agree. All right, so that leads us to another question in terms of marketing. What's your thought on musicians performing for free?
Have to. You just have to do it.
At all stages or at the beginning stages? When do you
stop? Yeah. I think that's the problem is entitlement has always been like a thing that I've fought against, especially in this in like the music scene, even in London. We played for free in all my other bands for like the first like year almost.
Yeah.
Like depending on what city, if you're just trying to break out and get in that city, like those promoters don't know if they're going to make money off you coming in that door. You know, it's just one of those things. You're like, hey man, maybe throw me gas money. If not, cool. Depending on how the show goes, it's just like getting your name out there. It's like anything. Being in a band costs money. You don't make money.
Oh, that's true. But what about the industry as a whole? Do you think it devalues the industry?
In a way, but I mean, I guess it's like anything. Anybody in a small business would know. That's how it is in a band. It's a small business. You gotta put yourself out there. Everybody's got to find your name. There's a ton of you doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
how do you get the edge?
Invest some time. They want to see what they're getting.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I'm totally for doing this kind of pro bono work because at the end of the day, it's not really for free. I mean, you still got that extra piece of content you can share. You made that new relationship. Whatever the case may be, you got something out of it. Even the experience, if it was horrible, you learned from it. So like, come on, at that point in your career, take it.
It's always been that way with us. And I mean, I've just kind of, it's funny because I'm like the biggest jackass you'll ever meet. I'm a smart ass in every way. But
I'm looking forward to that.
When it comes to people that like, that can help us or we can help them, like it's just one of those things where like all the bands I've been in, it's like, if you want to play a show in our hometown, okay, yeah, sure, you have an EP, but like, does anybody care? Like that EP could be amazing online, but it could all come from the US. You play a show in London and nobody cares.
Right.
That doesn't help. So you got to get up there, put yourself out, play some shows for free and grab a following. And then one day, you could be headlining in your own town and killing it and making some money. It's all worth it in the end. It's just how much work you're willing to do to get there. And that's always just been something I really enjoyed, was just putting our nose to the ground and just playing
getting
shows.
out there.
Like, it's just,
absolutely.
It's as much as love of anything. It's like, there's lots of stuff that people do that are hobbies that they do for free, and they spend a lot of money doing it.
I know. I can tell that you really enjoy doing this because you seem to want to do this with lots of different bands. And so this brings me to the last point. Hardcore vocalists seem to bounce around from band to band, and you seem to fit that mold. What's your take?
It's finding the right group of people, man.
Yeah.
It's always been the problem. I mean, in that case, I guess I could be the problem. Could be that. but you never know. It's just me looking for something new. It's always, I guess, like from the beginning, it was just like I wasn't very good, and it was just a way to work on what I was doing. And actually, even speaking of that, Matt from Prevail Music, Matt Sobey, he actually kind of got me started in London. Like him and some of our friends.
Yeah,
I didn't know anybody because I'm from a small town. I just moved to London for something to do, essentially.
Yeah.
And he got me comfortable recording. I'd never recorded before, really. And I was terrified. Like, hear my own voice still makes me cringe. But yeah, that whole thing was, it's, I don't know. It's just something that if you're always looking for something different, I guess, and you want to be better.
Yeah.
Like with Horizons, when I left my local band in London searching for satellites and went to Horizons, that was kind of I loved all the guys and we were all great friends, but the music wasn't what I wanted to do anymore. It went more of a hardcore punk route.
Right.
And I wanted your like metalcore, your like name brand style metal.
Yeah.
And it was heavier and it was just more appealing to me. And when a band that's already established asks you to join, you do it.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the term LSS? I believe it's lead singer syndrome.
Of course I am. Of course I am.
I just wanted to see your response to that.
Hey man, I carry gear everywhere. I carry all the gear.
You get to go at all times.
Yes, I'm always helping. But yeah,
like a good vocalist should do. There you go.
It's a huge thing. Man,
that's hilarious.
Some of the people I've met over the years. But yeah, no, it's definitely
That's funny. Okay, so we've got one more question to ask that's tuning in from the back here. Do you offer to help carrying the drums? Is that something that you do?
Always. I will never help set them up, but I will always carry them.
There's a fine line there. Yeah. Fair enough. And then one more question in here. What's your take? What's your response to people saying that your style of music sounds like cats being killed? What's your take?
Well, I've heard that since I was a kid from mostly my family.
Yeah? That's how they respond, your family? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, most of them are like, it sounds like you're summoning Satan. It sounds like I'm screaming, murder, death, kill. That seems to be people's favorite line.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny because I get it. There is a lot of metal out there that does sound like that. And
Right. It's awesome. Give me more.
Well, it's one of those things too. When I was a young guy, I would love pop punk and your radio rock and everything, and then just you hear a certain band, and you're like, wow, that's intense. I don't know why that guy's doing that. Sounds like it hurts. I want to try it.
I want to try it.
Yeah. Huh. So that's
Fair.
just kind of, I don't know. It's always one of those. I still get that. Like I'm 30, almost 31 years old, and the guys at work that will admit that they even listen to my band now that all this music's out. They'll make fun of it, but they know the words when they're making fun of it. You know what I mean? It's
interesting.
Just, yeah.
So clearly you like doing it and some of your friends like doing it, but why do you continue to make it if you know that it's not popular music?
It's just, well, it's like anything. I've always gone the route where if somebody doesn't like it, that's usually where I want to be. I don't know why that's been. That's just like, I think that's the whole, the alternative like metal and emo scene. Yeah, it's just always kind of been that way. I don't know. It's just like my personality, I guess. But
it's not so much about the money. It's more about the experience, that kind of stuff.
Money. There's no money in music anymore, man.
I don't know. Some people can do it. Some people figure it out.
It's true. Definitely, it takes a long time in metal. But like even some of the established bands that I've known for years, like when I was in Horizons, we toured with bands that I loved. Yeah. And I always thought of them, they've made it, but they don't make any money. Like, talking to those guys, it's like, it's kind of like a dream crusher, but I mean, it's common sense at this point. Like they might make a few $1,000s a show. Yeah. But the amount that comes out of that for a manager and for this and promotion and everything else, it's
the percentage at the end of the day.
You're not taking home, between 5 people, and you're paying for gas just to get to the next show, especially with the way gas has gone over the years, man. Like,
for real.
It's obviously just a struggle with everything. But yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
That's exactly the kind of response we wanted out of you. Don, here we are. We're at the 4th segment. This segment is called It's a Wheel Challenge. Boom. This is what it looks like for all of our viewers and our guests here. So
that's awesome.
Here we go. There we go. Wheel challenge. What we're going to do with this is, instead of you spinning our glorious wheel, which is in our background, I'll shed some more light on that after once I explain this, but I'm going to be spinning the wheel for you, and then each segment of the wheel has a different challenge on it, and we're going to go over the challenge. Once it is selected, you're only going to do one challenge. If you object to completing this challenge, we do have a couple of semi-personal questions that we will, well, just one that we ask you, and you probably don't want to answer those, so you may as well just do the challenge. It's also a lot more fun, so let's go ahead and do that. All right? Any questions?
Do I have to get up from my chair?
You do absolutely nothing. I don't even think I got to get up anymore, so here awesome. We are. But first, I want to make sure if you can actually see.
I can't see anything.
The symbols, hey? What if I put it here for now? Bam.
Oh, there's like things?
Yeah, each of them has symbols.
God, I'm ugly. Look at my face. Sorry.
I wouldn't say so at all, but I was actually commenting on your piercing blue eyes that we've got up here. I don't know if you guys can see that at all, but yeah, damn, Dawn Tour. Anyway, back to the wheel. Here we go.
What's going on here? Here we go. Okay. That's a smooth spin right there.
Right? I wasn't expecting that at all. We had some upgrades done to it. Oh, no.
What?
Okay, we're going to do rhyme or reason.
Oh, God.
Boom, rhyme or reason. What happened there? All right, so rhyme or reason, or sorry, I lied. It's called rhyme or relate.
You're fired.
All right, so the point of this game, because there's only 2 people, it's a little bit challenging, so we'll do 3 rounds. The first round is going to be a practice round where I give you a word, and then you have to rhyme to said word, and then I have to relate to the word that you said. So we'll do a test round right now. Okay?
Yep.
Page. So you
rage?
Rhyme with page. So you say rage, and I say angry, or I'll say mad to be easier, and then you rhyme with mad.
Bad.
Exactly. So you get the concept?
Yes. Yes.
So the first round, that was the first round. The next time we're going to rhyme and relate. It's going to be fast. We have 3 seconds to do it. And if you take longer than that, you lose. And then we're going to do the final round where you rhyme and I relate. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Deal. So we're going to start. No pressure. I'm very good at this. The first word.
You make me look so stupid.
The first word is light.
Fight.
Draw.
Raw.
Meat.
Beat.
Vegetables.
Oh.
3, 2, 1. Bang! Got him.
Vegetables.
Okay.
What would you even rhyme with that?
Vegetables.
Yeah.
Lunchables.
Yeah.
Breakable.
Lunchable. Oh God.
It's all part of the game, my friend.
Oh.
Now that you're very, very familiar with it, you get the opportunity to start. So you will be rhyming, and I will be relating this round. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Steam.
Cream. 3, 2, 1.
Beam.
Okay, you gotta not rhyme, you gotta relate this time. Okay? So we'll start over. Or the relating is the issue.
Have to relate?
So if I say cream, you can say coffee or milk or dairy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just stupid. Sorry. Let's do that again. Let's go. Come on.
The sound guy actually has a message for you. We're gonna keep this round very simple because you're dumb. I'm glad you could take that nicely.
What a sound guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, give us your word and we'll give this one a go.
Okay. Moose.
Loose.
Shoes.
Twos.
What
you
did you
just
say?
relate. I said twos, like ones and twos.
Ones and twos. Numbers.
Thunders.
Lightning.
Frightening.
Horror.
Drawer.
Cabinet.
Having it. 3.
No. No.
Grow.
Boy.
Toy.
Kids.
Rids. Oh, that's not a word. Grits. Nah, I lose. Damn. Well, that was a good one. That was an extended round. Oh, yeah. You took it. Don took it. Okay. I could live with that. But yes, that is our wheel challenge. Yeah.
God.
Ding, ding, ding.
That was stressful.
It was stressful. I must say that I think we lasted a good 60 seconds there, which is, well, I can't say longer than most because it's our first time doing it, but here we are.
So bad.
Yes, filter game strong. That brings us to the last segment, clear the air segment. Woo! This segment, we'll just take this in. Clear the air.
Sound guy's killing me.
So here in this segment, we want to help clear the air from any brain fog that we may have. Since you have some experience in this industry, we want to be able to better prepare more amateur artists, people that are a little bit behind you, people perhaps that are even where you are but haven't experienced exactly what you have. We can all learn and develop from this. We can be able to avoid unnecessary hurdles. So that's what we're going to do here. Okay?
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right. What is one common myth about your profession that you want to debunk?
That it's something that you can like make money at right away. I think that's like the thing that people who have never like played music or been in like any type of like playing shows or events or gigs. I think the misconception is that, you know, like, oh, you're playing a show, so you're going to make some money. Like, you know, everybody kind of still, even though it's kind of a dead thing, still has a like rock star. People think you can be a rock star anymore. It's so few and far between, but
yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah. People think that like you're going out and you're playing shows and you're making money, but it's, you know, the complete opposite. It costs money to play a show. It costs money to be in a band. And I think that's the thing too, that almost keeps some people from playing or from coming out to seeing shows. Friends and family, they might just think it's just a thing that they like to do. Well, you know, like putting butts in chairs is how you get to play another show.
Yeah.
I think that's probably my big thing is like, you know, people always think it's fun and it's PG teen all the time.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, being in a band is stressful and just literally just steals the money from your pocket. And I don't know, it's something that a lot of people do. And if you don't really, really love it, it's going to be hard on you.
Ain't that the truth? It's essentially starting a business.
Yeah.
And then 100%. If you're in a band, you've got multiple partners that may have different kind of goals, different intentions. So
viewpoints are, everybody's got a different viewpoint on everything, and there's always one outlier in every band. And I think like to just go off on a little thing where
this can actually be our next clear the air question. Band drama. I feel like you're already on that train of thought.
Yeah. I think that kind of goes in with the other one where it's like, you know, people think being in a band is fun all the time too. Like it's you're out on the road and it's, you know, you're playing bars every night and you're playing shows and it's a great time. Well, for those who have never been on like even tour, a few of us in our band have been on tour. Like our drummer Adam, he's toured with me and he was also in Horizons with me back in the day.
Yeah.
But like touring is great and we love it and we want to do it, but it's also one of those things where you don't know how stressful and slow the days can be until you've done it. And you literally have 24 hours in a day of doing nothing or just driving in a van and sleeping, and then you're on set, you're playing for 30 minutes, and then the rest of the day is pack up your stuff
somewhere else,
drive for 5, 6, 7 hours, go to the next place, wander around the venue for 4 hours before people show up. And like, not everybody handles that well.
Yeah.
I've been in bands where if you got guys that are super antisocial, like I'll be honest, I'm not the most social guy in the entire world. I'm like an introverted extrovert. I love, talking to people and doing stuff. But at the same time, I'm perfectly fine sitting at home all day and not talking to people for 4 months.
Yeah.
So this thing right now is not that terrible for us.
Yep.
But yeah, band drama, I think that's the nicest thing about this band is we've all been in bands where we've all had a lot of band drama.
Yeah.
And we've always had those members that are just, they make it harder than it needs to be. And especially with my personality and kind of growing up, and having a kid was a huge thing where it makes priorities stick out a little more.
Right.
A lot of us do have kids as well. And that's kind of thing where you're like, I don't have time for your petty stuff. Like,
throw your nonsense away.
It's laid out on the table. If there's something you genuinely don't like, give us a reason.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it. We'll change it. It's, we try to make it fair in every way.
Right.
And it's been great. Like, if there's one or two guys that are like, that's not the thing. Well, okay, this time we'll do this. Everybody kind of gets a veto on all of it. And I think that's just kind of like the way it's been working well for us. We all know that it's bigger than just our egos or us being, jackasses or not seeing everyone's point of view. It's just something you kind of got to deal with sometimes, and just to play some good music and writing too. Right.
Right. Is that how you deal with your one outlier, your bad rabbit? I don't even know if that's a reference. But typically with voting.
Yeah, we've kind of been doing that. It's something we adopted for now. I mean, like, if everybody thinks one thing is a good idea, and we always try to do like, why is it a good idea, and why would it not be a bad idea? Like, pros and cons. It's, I don't know.
So communication, open communication.
Yeah. I'm very much on, like, if something bugs you, don't hold it in, because that's when stuff blows up later. And it's honestly like a marriage. I've been married for 5 or 6 years now, and it's the same thing. You just lay it all out, let everybody know where you stand. You don't have to agree on everything, but then you know where everybody is, and you know what to look for in the future, stuff like that. That's
actually very important.
Those, 100%.
You don't have to agree with everything.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, we've done lots of things where I'm like, I wouldn't do that if it was just me, but I see why. Like, I'm always trying to be like both sides, and that's something I don't think a lot of us all had when we were younger either, right? Like, we're we're better friends, and we genuinely enjoy like hanging out together. And you appreciate things a lot more when you get a little bit older and you don't get to see everybody all the time. Because like back when we were in a band and we were together almost every day and you're touring and stuff, if you have that kind of personality where you just you don't want to talk about things and just let it sit like and stew, like it's not going to work out. And I've been there before, and it's not fun. Like, it's,
right.
When
mentally
you're trying to enjoy
exhausting.
yourself, absolutely. When you're trying to enjoy yourself, and you have stress of breaking down vehicles and chasing promoters for money. The last thing you want to worry about is if somebody has hurt feelings. If they just don't like something or something, piss them off, just always lay it out there, man. That's a big thing for bands. I know a lot of young bands that I've seen kind of come and go, and honestly, like, ask for my advice. I don't know why they would do that, but it's
they respect you. Come on.
It's just like, I'm very much I'm too old now. I don't have time for bullshit. Yeah. And I don't want to listen to you complain about things that don't matter to us.
Man, ain't nobody got time for that.
No, just, if you want to make music, let's make music. If you don't want to be in a band, you don't have time for it, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But no, we found a good group of dudes, and it's been awesome.
Perfect. So throughout your experience with these different bands, how did you find that you would or split the income? Like, was that ever an issue? or your expenses, for example, as well?
I was gonna say income. What's that?
Well, clearly I wasn't paying attention this whole time.
No, like especially when you're on. It's funny because I don't think I've never pocketed any money from being in a band yet.
Okay.
Every dime that we would make, we usually, because at the end of the day,
goes back into it.
Yeah, we just put it back into it. Whether we had $50 sitting there or we had $5,000 sitting there, that's going to be used for something. And if we don't have to take it out of our pocket the next time,
win.
Yeah, that's huge. That's make or break for a lot of bands, and vehicle breakdowns are always like those can ruin bands.
So almost you have like a separate account for that, or it's just managed between you guys?
A lot of us would be that, and then you'd have it's cash, a lot of it. But then like the Square swipe things came out the last few years that I've been playing shows and stuff like that, and I know bands usually have like a band account.
Right.
And like same thing, it's a small business, man. You've got to put your money where you need it and not waste money on things you don't need. And it's just always kind of been that way, I guess, for every band. Everybody's pretty good. Like everybody realizes that you're not going to make money doing it, especially right off the bat. So it's invest what you can, pay good money for recordings, buying vehicles, gas, shirts, merch is a huge thing. Merch is a good way to make your money. Yeah. And you obviously have to invest the initial amount before you start playing shows. So that's kind of been where we're at. And we've actually been really lucky. There's somebody of every caliber in our band. We got guys that can do merch designs that we don't have to pay for. We have guys that can do recordings for demoing and stuff like that. We can just take what we've done and take it to a studio from there. And like music videos and stuff, man. Like we're really good with trying to make our own thing. We have graphic designers and stuff like that in our band. Yeah. So we're kind of set.
That's awesome. Do you ever feel that sometimes one member of the band may be putting in more than another member? And do you have a dispute over that? Maybe it's not money. Maybe it's I'm just dedicating more time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
How do you deal with that?
Actually, it's always kind of like, are you okay with this? I mean, Jeff Folks, our guitar player, like one of the most talented guys that I've ever dealt with. And I've been in multiple bands with him. He was in Searching for Satellites, and one of my best friends, and that guy can do anything. He did our most recent
valuable people.
Dude, it's crazy. He did our most recent, the last two videos we put out. Brightburn's music video. You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah,
under
nice.
Dead Days.
Check that out.
You can search for Brightburn. Then you can search Dead Days, Doom and Gloom. He did both of those videos.
There it is. We'll put that in the show notes too.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's insane the amount of time he puts into just making that content. Like it's time consuming stuff. I feel terrible every day that I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I can write you vocals, but that's about it. I'll send you the lyrics, the link. But beyond that, I can't do shit. So
do you think
he's huge?
Okay, that's awesome. Do you think because he's contributing so much value right now, he'll be financially rewarded at a later date, or am I just putting words in your mouth before he calls you up?
We kind of no. Well, we kind of had that before. In another band I was in Horizons, where one guy did everything, wrote all the songs, recorded it all, and at the end of the day, he was saving us money with going and recording at a studio that was going to cost us like thousands of dollars. He spent all the money and all the stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, it was what he was doing for a living. Yeah. But yeah, we would throw money here and there to him for doing that stuff. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, if Jeff becomes like the main guy to do all of our stuff and edit stuff and gets, like, he's great at it already, but he's just the beginning, which is awesome to see. Yeah, I mean, like, I think he's using that talent too to hopefully help some other bands out in London and stuff like that too. So I think at the end of the day, he'll definitely be rewarded for it.
Okay. That's clearly sometimes specific members will take a larger role and then others will take a smaller role. But because it's a business, do you think these roles are based off of percentages of ownership of the business, or is it just the person themselves taking over and putting what they want into it and then having that play out later on? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's more like do what we can do ourselves to keep us all from spending that money. You know what I mean? It's I don't think he would like. No, everything is the same at the end of the day. Like we all have our own skills.
Yep.
And it essentially saves us all money in a different way.
Right.
His just takes a little more time, which unfortunately sucks, but he loves doing it.
But he loves doing it. Yeah. So it's not like he's going to get a higher percentage at the end. It's just the band as a whole has more money at the end.
Yeah. And like, you know, there's stuff that I can do behind the scenes with merch that can save us a ton of money. Right. There's stuff that like the graphic designing or shirt designs. Like, I don't know if anybody's, you know, had to go and search and find a cool design and pay for it.
Yeah.
You're spending anywhere from $100 to $500, $600, $700 just for an image to put on a shirt, depending on what you want it to look like. Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until I started looking more. We always just had buddies make us sweet designs that are tattoo artists and stuff in London.
Yeah.
And they were always good hookups. It was always, you know, a couple bucks and a couple t-shirts or something.
Right.
And I never really had that side of it. I've kind of taken a little more in like, we're all doing something different to try to figure out what we can do to help the band more. And like it's definitely, especially with the internet and the way art is now, like it's everywhere.
It's
if people
everywhere.
know what they're worth, man, they're going to sell it.
Yeah.
And just coming across people and like, hey man, what do you sell designs for? We're looking for some band shirts. And they're like, $500. Okay.
Just for the design.
Just
then you got to pay for the shirts and prints and all of those.
Keep the design. Exactly. Yeah. So
and
like,
if you're releasing lots, you're doing that often.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. So that kind of way, we've all kind of got our things. You know, we got guys that have connections to marketing people and stuff like that have kind of helped us promote our stuff. And that's also something we'd have to pay for. So it's just everybody kind of has their role.
Right.
Just sometimes it's more time for some other people.
Time. Yeah. Time and energy. Okay. You've given us lots of setbacks and lots of experiences to learn from, but perhaps I can trigger a memory. Is there a specific memory that you're like, wow, I wish to never experience that again throughout your musical career?
Van breakdowns are always a huge thing. That sucks. Speaking of like money and the whole money senses, with all your money going back into your band and you're holding on to it for merch and gas. Like if you think about it, we were on a tour in the US in Horizons a few years ago, and we were the second in the bill. There was 5 bands on this tour package. We made $100 a night. So that literally, not total. That's what everybody says. Oh, you made $100 each. Like, no, make $100 flat. That's what you make. So that would always go to gas, right? That would always go to gas, and you just kind of pile it up and hope you get to the next place.
Yeah.
This one tour we did, we broke down once in a Walmart, blew a fan belt on the RV because we drove in an RV, and unfortunately not everyone can work on an RV. Can't just take the Canadian Tire. We had to search around all day for a Ford dealership. We had to creep it, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 kilometers, and we had to go like 5K just to get there. It took all day. We made it to the show like a half an hour before we were supposed to play. It was the worst. And then the second last day of that same tour, we blew the inside tire on our RV of the dual wheel RV, and that's so it was it was on a Sunday in Quebec, and apparently the world shuts down on Sunday in Quebec.
Oh,
and
of course,
that cost us a lot of money to have a big rig come out and swap the tire. I think it was just like crazy. So all the money we had made in the last like week was gone. I paid for just the tire,
flew away,
paid for gas and everything out of my pocket. Like that. That's a soul crusher right there. I'd never want to do that again. I hate it. Anything with vehicle related sucks.
Yeah. I feel that pain. I've struggled for a long time with vehicle issues. So that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah, that. And I think the only other thing I would never want to, like, I've never been depressed in my whole life. I don't think I've never really had those kinds of struggles, which is awesome for me. But the one time when I was in Horizons, we were actually pretty okay named for what we were doing. We got some great tours. We had, great team behind us. And we were literally probably like a month away from being signed. We had gotten some offers were about to come through from some sweet labels, and the whole world was like right there in our hands.
Exciting.
And yeah, we just got an offer to play like third bill in on a tour with Emery, an old like metalcore band.
Okay.
And they were huge to us, and I'm sure a lot of people that listen to this will know that band.
Yeah.
Like, we were excited, and then that same night, 2 members quit. That same night, we got all this info, and then I woke up the next morning, and it was all gone, all of it. Everything we had was gone.
That's
and
the
I'd never
worst.
been so close in my entire life to making it, and it was just pulled up from under me. Now that I am an adult and I understand why these guys did this, I get it.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'd never felt more heartbreak in my entire life.
For real?
I'd never been happier, and then crushed. The next day. It was crazy.
That's the worst.
Between that and vehicles.
Yeah. Lesson learned. Yeah. Okay. Deal. Yeah. Well, we're drawing near to the end, but I do want to see if we can end on a positive note, because like that was a little heavy.
Yeah, I know,
so
that's
but it's what we were looking for. I mean, it's gold, very valuable. But yeah, most uplifting, most inspiring, most positive moments, something you want to share with us that'll leave us with a smile.
Playing my first show in London was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Playing your first show to anyone is probably the coolest, most terrifying thing in the entire world.
Yeah.
But the best feeling in the entire world.
Yeah.
You black out for like 30 minutes, and then you walk up stage, you're drowning in sweat. People want to high five you. You don't know if it was good or bad. It sounded terrible in your own head. And people appreciated it, I guess. And you're like, oh, I don't remember any of that. I will never remember any of the stuff that happened on stage. I'm really sweaty. I'm really tired.
Yeah.
I yelled a lot.
Yeah.
It was the best feeling.
One for the books, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the craziest thing. And my number one experience, I think, in this whole, it's like the little things that make it worth it, was, to make a long story short, we were playing a festival in the U.S. at a Six Flags.
Awesome.
Big old theme park.
Yeah.
It was a big metal festival close to Halloween.
Okay.
And we were supposed to play the side stage on one end of the park, and then all the big name bands, all the bands I listen to, the reasons I'm in metal music, were playing the other side.
Right.
We were second to headliner on the one stage. Now, the problem was that everybody kept swearing, all these other bands. It's a family park. Can't swear. That was on the rider. All the listing, all this stuff was like, don't do that.
Right. Right.
And the one band that played before us got up, swear, shut the whole thing down. We were out money.
The whole stage?
They shut the whole stage down. Yeah. They were like, nope, this is done. We're not paying anybody. Kind of get out of here. Right. And we're like, oh my God. Like, what are we supposed to do?
What?
So we wandered around, and our bass player, who was like the ballsiest guy, big Dutch guy.
All right.
Would talk to anybody in the entire world. He would ask anyone any question. He went and found the guy that promoted and ran the event, begged him to talk to our manager, who at the time he's the guitar player for I See Stars. And he was like, go talk to him. This isn't fair. Like, we drove all this way out of our way. We need money to survive.
Absolutely.
We want to play. Like, there's tons of people here. We want to play. Long story short, he said, if your manager will give you some of their set, we'll let you play on the main stage in front of all the people.
Oh, damn.
Oh my God. So we talked to him. He's like, yep, come over, bring your guitars. Everything's on stage. You can use all of our gear. And we were just like, ecstatic. We had no idea what was going on. We're like, okay, we'll be to the other side of the park. We get over there, and they're like, yeah, you can use the gear. For anybody who knows who like Norma Jean is, they're one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
I got to stand on the stage with them playing just from side stage.
Awesome.
Mind blown. The backstage area is full of every guy I've ever wanted to be. And it was awesome.
Wondering, is this real life?
Yeah. And then we ended up getting to play 2 songs to this crowd of like a few thousand people. I have a picture of it, and it's like my best memory of my entire life. It was terrifying.
Just feeling glorious.
Phenomenal. We're like this stupid band from Toronto, and everybody knew the words too. People knew who we were. It was insane.
Oof. But so you feel that energy coming back at you.
Oh my God, it was cool.
Awesome.
So those are the things that you kind of live for. That's my inspirational moment. That's one of those things where, it was pretty insane that Boris had the guts to go over and ask the guy running the place, like, what can you do for us? This isn't something that we had done. We knew our rules, blah, blah, blah. And this hardcore band went up and just was like, blah.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen anything shut down more quick. But no, it was like the craziest opportunity. There's a video of it on YouTube. It's pretty amazing. I watch it all the time because I'm a sad person.
Ooh, we're gonna add that link to the show notes too, so that everyone can check that out.
But it was cool, man. It was like it's like one of those, like, I don't know how I'm gonna top this. And then I had a kid, and that was pretty cool.
Hey, that is absolutely life changing. Very cool. Very awesome.
Man, that's my thing. That's my top inspirational moment.
What another episode of Go Produce with Don Tour.
Happy to be here.
Thank you, listeners. Grumpy sound guy in the back. We couldn't do this without you. Go Produce team all around. Thank you. And especially Don Tour for showing up today. We learned a lot. I mean, I think a lot of our listeners will be able to say that they learned something. They can contribute to society a little bit more in this musical world. So thank you for that. I want to ask you if you have any final words.
Yeah. Shameless self-promotion. Look for the band Dead Days on Spotify, YouTube, anywhere. We are the
Dead
metal
Days.
Dead Days. There's another Dead Days in there from England, but they're not us. They're not the angry ones. We're the angry ones.
Angry?
Yeah, Angry Dead Days. So look
Angry
for us
Dead
on
Days.
Spotify and anywhere else you're looking for it. Save the songs, listen to them, let us know, send us some feedback on our Facebook, Dead Days Music, and follow us on Instagram, Dead Days Music, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you for coming. So that's Dead Days on Facebook, on Instagram, not Twitter because we don't like Twitter. But
it is. We have a Twitter.
We have it on Twitter? Okay, well, Dead Days on Twitter.
But we have it.
But if you're out there on Twitter, check them out, Dead Days. Don, thank you for joining us. I hope you had a great time. Hope to chat with you soon.
I did, man. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Take
Cheers,
care.
Man. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, then follow us on Instagram at go.produce. Check out our show notes, support us on Patreon, and help us grow this community. All of this and more can be found on our website at goproduce.ca. I am Big Lou, and I want to make sure that until next time, you go produce.